Akane is on a coffee date with her boyfriend, Takuma, when he reveals to her that he recently met someone he is interested in. She confides in Momo, her good friend, who is shocked that her gamer boyfriend would cheat on her with another girl through a game. Before Momo leaves, she advises a distraught Akane to cheer up and come to class, filled with regrets over how much money she spent on it, and also repeating to herself that it's not the end of the world. She attempts to play the game. While on the gaming platform, she meets a new character wearing a no mask. When she finds out he's a part of her guild, she begins a conversation with him that ends in a disappointing tantrum from Akane because the gamer showed no concern whatsoever for her condition. Akane soon calms down, realizing she was ranting at a total stranger and just has to accept that gamer boys lack empathy. Explaining this in the modern day generation, Akane accepts that gamer boys are toxic. Before she logs out, she receives a notification for an anniversary celebration from the game, and after school that day, she takes Momo along with her shopping. She also goes to the salon and the spa that day, getting herself ready to show Takuma what he's missing. Yeah, it's one of the typical teenage girl revenge body stunts on exes. So, Akane arrives at the festival and is stunned at the view of the place until she catches a view of Takuma and his new girl. In an attempt to go after them, she bumps into someone, misses her step, and falls to the floor, embarrassing herself. The guy walks over holding her shoe, and Akane, seeing how attractive he is, nervously comports herself. His responses to Akane's gesture are short and brief. They literally scream, "Life is so boring. I'm not interested in life, and I wish I'd just die." That kind of tone. Akane recalls the words from the stranger's vocabulary and recognizes him as Yamada, the guy she met online. While he slowly walks over to her, they are interrupted by Takuma's call. Akane, thinking Takuma cares about her once again, is ignored by him and instead worships Yamada, a famous pro gamer and his idol. Akane takes the opportunity to make Takuma jealous and introduces Yamada as her boyfriend. Yamada is initially reluctant until Akane gives him a rare pin code for a piece of gaming equipment in exchange to play the role of her boyfriend. Takuma breaks down in tears, much to Akane's expectations, but is later distraught after seeing Eri's affection for Takuma. Later that day, Akane wails over her despair to an unconcerned Yamada in a bar. He reveals to her that he can't process feelings and emotions. He also hasn't been in a relationship before. After an overwhelming flush of emotions, Akane uses the restroom to get her head together. Her clothes are dirty, where she tripped is injured, and her plan to make Takuma didn't work. When she returns, she finds Yamada's seat empty and is disheveled until she feels his presence behind her. He reveals he stepped out to get her band-aids. While placing them on her injured ankle, she is flustered and happily announces all bills on her. Akane awakens the next morning to find herself in Yamada's bedroom. She asks him if last night was a midnight stand, but he responds that he chose the option of clearing the bills and caring for her, rather than leaving her on the street. She cleans herself up and returns home, embarrassed by her actions. After freshening up, she realizes her necklace, gifted to her by Takuma, is absent from her neck and thinks she left it at Yamada's place. She logs into the game and can't find Yamada online, but instead confides in Rurime, the guild leader. Ruri tries to console her about her situation with her ex. When Yamada comes online, Ruri and Yamada have a long chat, completely ignoring Akane, who has to result in entering Yamada's DM. After responding to having not seen Akane's necklace, he continues blabbing about the inexperienced guild member who keeps stocking the guild storage with mediocre items. As much as Rurime intervenes, Yamada keeps on pouring hurtful words, and Akane, who is revealed to be responsible, logs out. Over lunch, Akane expresses her pain about her necklace, a nightmare she had with Takuma in it, and the situation with the hot nerd Momo, who makes Akane realize that maybe she isn't really over Takuma. On her way home that evening, she witnesses a girl expressing her feelings to a guy and recalls how sweet the feeling was when she did it years ago. The guy's harsh response brings her back to reality, and she recognizes he is none other than Yamada. When she approaches him and introduces herself, she also brings to light that the girl earlier was trying to confess to him, but the nonchalant Yamada was more interested in going home to defeat the boss of the game. He returns the necklace in a broken state after finding it in his room some days back and apologizes. When it's time to go home, he gives Akane his umbrella to shield her from the rain, and this leaves her flustered. The next day, Akane is bombarded with boxes filled with her stuff for the delivery company sent by her mother, who had no space to keep them. With Momo's help, her room is cleared, and with Yamada's words, chooses to let go of things she didn't need anymore, including the broken necklace. After the dumping events, Akane and Momo end up drunk and appear at Yamada's doorstep to return his umbrella he clearly stated he didn't need. A drunken Momo expresses her wish to marry the cute Yamada, but Akane, who was a bit sane, expresses her gratitude for helping her the few times they met and takes Momo Momo home. Before they leave, Yamada, who is nearly flushed by Akane's words, tells her to come back to the game. Yeah, so that was his way of saying, "I'm sorry for the hurtful words." Momo involves Akane in the sacred ritual of a double date, but throughout, Akane is extensively focused on her phone, also giving signals to Momo that they had to leave. After the date, Momo speaks with Akane about giving her numbers to strangers over a game and brings up the possibility that Rurime might be an aged stalker, but Akane doubts the possibility. When Akane gets home, she logs in and sees Yamada alone with Rurime. Their conversation reveals that they've known each other for a long time, and Akane rules out the probability that they're secretly dating. She remains taunted by her assumptions in class, and after, possibly thinking of stalking Yamada. On her way home, she's accompanied by the guy from her previous date when she catches a glimpse of a familiar girl walking with Yamada. After this sight, she doubts Yamada's words even more about being in a relationship. When she arrives home, she is texted by Rurime, who invites her for a guild meet and greet at a cafe hosted by the game. Akane reluctantly agreed, despite her thoughts. The next day, while Akane has trouble locating the venue for the event, she bumps into a charming young man in glasses, who coincidentally is heading to the same event, and Akane has no choice but to tag along with the guy who nearly blasted her ears with his talks. When they arrive at the venue, Akane sees the girl she suspects to be Rurime and Yamada in front of the cafe. While she exchanges pleasantries with him, the girl clings to Yamada, giving her death stare till she realizes the girl isn't Rurime as she expected. It is revealed that the charming young man she met on her way is actually Rurime, and the episode ends with the four of them, Rurime, Yamada, the girl, and Akane, standing in a web full of confusion and drama. Plot twist: it is also revealed that Yamada didn't give Akane the full details of her actions on that drunken night, ones where she clung to him like a baby, softly crying and pleading with him to stay with her. That brings us to the end of Loving Yamada at level 99, part 1. I hope you enjoyed this recap as much as I did. Please hit the thumbs up button, subscribe, and kindly comment below if you would like part 2 of this recap. Bye and thanks for watching. See you next time.